Good evening, everyone. Luis Nuñez here. Welcome to Football Council. Tonight, we're going to be talking about FIFA's judicial bodies, its organization, functions, as well as some case law that we have chosen in order to better explain how these bodies function within the FIFA's framework. So, without further ado, let's do it. So, pursuant to Article 50 of the FIFA statutes, the FIFA judicial bodies are the Ethics Committee, the Disciplinary Committee, and of course, the Appeals Committee. These judicial bodies are to be composed in such a way that the members have the knowledge, abilities, and specialized experience that is necessary in order to carry out their tasks and functions. In all of the committees, the chairperson and deputy chairperson have to be qualified to practice law. This will be going to be repeated throughout the presentation and the live discussions. Of course, I didn't tell you before. If you had any questions or queries whatsoever, please write them down, and we'll be more than glad to try to solve them for you and answer them. So the chairperson, deputy chairperson, and members of these committees need to fulfill also the independent criteria had set out in the relevant FIFA governance regulation. They have to be independent, impartial, and also have the time to dedicate to their tasks, and among other criteria. They are elected by the FIFA Congress for a term lasting 4 years and for a maximum of 3 terms, those terms whether they be consecutive or not. So no more than 12 years. In regards to the Ethics Committee, well, the functions of the Ethics Committee shall be governed primarily by the FIFA Code of Ethics, of course, but also by the FIFA statutes. It is divided into an investigatory chamber, which is chairperson and deputy chairperson and members, and an adjudicatory chamber, which is the one that decides, also with a chairperson and a deputy chairperson and its members. In turn, the adjudicatory chamber shall pass decisions if at least 3 of its members are present. Also, the chairperson may pass decisions alone in specific cases. These legal powers repeats themselves also for the Disciplinary Committee and the Appeals Committee, and we will see that further in the presentation. Furthermore, this committee may pronounce sanctions described in the FIFA statutes, the FIFA Code of Ethics, and the FIFA Disciplinary Code on officials, players, football agents, and match agents. So the main documents that this committee will use in order to render its decisions will be the FIFA statutes, the Code of Ethics, and the FIFA Disciplinary Code. It will vary somewhat with the Disciplinary Committee, but the most important thing is to notice and to point out is this Ethics Committee does not pronounce sanctions on legal entities such as member associations and clubs. They are not ethically liable. The Ethics Committee is entitled to investigate and judge the conduct of persons who were bound by the Code of Ethics or another applicable code at the time the relevant conduct occurred, regardless of whether the person remains bound by the code at the time of the proceedings commence or any time thereafter. So basically, the most important thing is that the conduct that is being investigated be previously typified. And then if it's previously typified, you can apply a later code to it. Basically what it's saying is if the person, when it committed the act that is being investigated was under FIFA jurisdiction, if later in the proceedings it's no longer under FIFA jurisdiction, still the proceedings have to take place. At least they cannot be suspended under those grounds, and the person might still be liable. So the Ethics Committee is competent to decide in 3 scenarios. First one, on matters affecting players, coaches, or any other official bound by the Code of Ethics, where said conduct does not fall under the competence of any confederation or member association. That's one. The second one would be where no formal investigation had been initiated by the competent confederation or member association 90 days after the matter became known to FIFA. And lastly, whether the relevant confederation or member association agrees with FIFA to confer the competence regarding the relevant matter of FIFA. So basically, if the matter is not of competence of another confederation or member association, FIFA takes competence over the matter. If another confederation or member association has competence over the matter and has not started an investigation 90 days after FIFA has come to know of the matter, FIFA will take competence, and that is without prejudice to any sanctions that might be imposed on the relevant member association or confederation for not initiating that investigation. And finally, when the competencies of another member association or confederation, but they agree with FIFA to confer the competence to attend that matter to FIFA. So the Ethics Committee also has the exclusive competence to investigate and judge the conduct of all persons bound to the Code of Ethics, where such conduct, three scenarios also, has been committed by an individual who was elected, appointed, or assigned by FIFA to exercise a function. B, directly concerns the FIFA-related duties or responsibilities. And lastly, of course, is related to the use of FIFA funds. An individual also may be sanctioned for breach of the Code of Ethics only if the relevant conduct contravened the code applicable at the time it occurred. The sanction may not exceed the maximum sanction available under the then applicable code. So basically, again, the conduct has to be typified, and then if a new version of the code comes with that conduct typified, and it has, for example, a more severe sanction, since the conduct was committed under the previous version, and that sanction is less severe, that is a sanction that will be applied. Finally, the Council shall issue the FIFA Code of Ethics, and the Ethics Committee may propose amendments to its regulations to the Council. Now let's go over, I'm going to wait here. ¿Alguna pregunta, Dani? No, seems like no. Okay. The disciplinary committee shall consist also of a chairperson, a deputy chairperson, and a specific number of other members. The chairperson and deputy chairperson of the disciplinary committee also, like we said, must be qualified to practice law. And this committee should act in accordance mainly with the FIFA disciplinary code. It does not apply the Code of Ethics. And also it has to apply and comply with, of course, the FIFA statutes and pertinent regulations. It shall take its decisions in the presence of at least 3 members. This repeats itself throughout the 3 committees. In special cases, the chairman may decide alone. We have pinpointed 2 cases where this happens later on in the presentation. So the disciplinary committee pronounces the sanctions described in the FIFA statutes and the disciplinary code on member associations, clubs, officials, players, intermediaries, and licensed match agents. As you can see, has opposed us to the ethics committee. The disciplinary committee has competence to pronounce sanctions over legal entities such as associations and clubs. In matters reserved for the single judge, the secretary may propose a sanction on the basis of the existing file. We have an example of that in a case we have chosen. And this is very important in regards to set a sanction proposal. The party concerned may reject the proposed sanction and submit its position before the relevant judicial body within 5 days of notification of the proposed sanction, in the absence of which the proposed sanction will become final and binding. So it has to reject it, because if it doesn't, it will then turn into a binding decision. This is per Article 58 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code 2023 edition. So the disciplinary code applies to all disciplinary offenses. These are the scenarios. Committed following the date on which it comes into force, that's only logical. Also applies to all disciplinary offenses committed prior to the date on which it comes into force, subject to any milder sanctions that would apply under previous rules. We spoke about this before, but it's also very important that the conduct be typified previously before the infringement. Finally, the disciplinary proceedings initiated against someone who was under FIFA's jurisdiction on the day the alleged disciplinary offense was committed shall not be abandoned by the FIFA judicial body solely because the person involved is no longer in the FIFA's jurisdiction. We spoke about this also. If the person was under FIFA's jurisdiction, the person being investigated, he's still liable to sanctions if they found in infringement of the code. So this is very important. The FIFA disciplinary committee does not have a competence to pronounce the expulsion or suspension of a member association. That competence is reserved exclusively to the Congress and the Council, as the case may be. They are the only ones that can expel or suspend member associations. Like the Ethics Committee, the councils are issued a disciplinary code, and the disciplinary committee may propose amendments to these regulations to the council. Okay, now we're going to enter into the appeals committee, but I'm going to wait right here. I guess I got a couple of questions. Okay, no. Is Danny saying that not yet? So guys, some questions. We're here for that. So the appeals committee, the function of the appeals committee shall be governed by both the FIFA disciplinary code and the FIFA code of ethics. Also the statutes. This is only logical because this is the body that is going to see the appeals of both the disciplinary committee and the ethics committee. This committee shall pass decisions only when at least 3 members are present. In certain cases, the chairperson may rule alone. This repeats itself through the 3 committees. This committee is responsible for hearing appeals against decisions from the disciplinary committee and the ethics committee that are not declared final by the relevant FIFA regulations. Again, if the relevant FIFA regulations stipulate that the appeals, that the decision of the disciplinary committee or the ethics committee are final and binding, they can be appealed directly to CAS. But if they have still internal recourse before the appeals committee, you have to present that appeal. And then after that decision, you can appeal the decision before CAS. Decisions pronounced by the appeal committee shall be irrevocable and binding on all parties concerned, except made is subject to the appeals lodged with the Court of Arbitration for Sports, like we spoke about. Okay. The function of the appeals committee shall be governed. Yeah, we already talked about this. Some reason I'm not. Okay, here it goes. So it's important to pinpoint what is called the. We wanted to clear some ideas. When FIFA judicial bodies' decisions are appealed before CAS, it's because of what it is known as vertical disputes. Vertical disputes are the disputes where FIFA decides while exercising its disciplinary duties, power, sorry. So in this case, since it's sanctioning one of the parties, FIFA itself is a party. It's such a party that it has the burden of proof in proving demonstrating the infringement. So in this case, it's standing to be sued before CAS as a party also. And also as a comparison, horizontal disputes are the decisions taken by the FIFA Football Tribunal chambers, where FIFA merely acts as a adjudicatory body resolving disputes between 2 different parties, right? In this case, CAS jurisprudence is very consistent in affirming that the fact that CAS can set aside or modify decisions issued by FIFA bodies create sufficient legal interest for FIFA to have standing to be sued. So in conclusion, both in the vertical disputes that are the ones are in the FIFA disciplinary bodies issued by the disciplinary bodies, as well as the decisions issued by the Football Tribunal, the horizontal disputes, in both cases, but on different grounds, FIFA has standing to be sued. So now we're going to enter to analyze or at least describe the case law that we have chosen in order to explain how these disciplinary bodies operate. The first one we've chosen is a case of the famous football player Mark Overmars from the Netherlands. This decision is identified as FDD number 16754. And these are the facts. On November 23, 2023, the Disciplinary Committee of the Sports Jurisdiction Institute, the ISR, rendered a decision by means of which it decided to impose a ban on the official Mr. Mark Overmars, who's going to be the respondent in this proceeding, and I quote, on exercising any position within the association or affiliated organizations as referred to in Article 1, paragraph 25 of the regulations for a period of 2 years, of which 1 year is suspended and with an operational period of 2 years from the date of this decision. So basically what it's saying here is the exclusion from, or the sanction is going to be applied for 1 year, and the second year of the sanction is going to be suspended subject to a 2-year probation, as is going to be further explained later on. In particular, the decision reviewed the ISR. Oh, let me stop here. What is the Sports Jurisdiction Institute? Sports Jurisdiction Institute, it might be an independent arbitration tribunal or adjudicatory body recognized by the Royal Netherlands Football Association to decide its controversies, and in this case, disciplinary matters through its disciplinary committee. So it's all regulated on the FIFA statutes. In particular, the decision revealed that the disciplinary committee was, and I quote again, of the opinion that has become sufficiently plausible that the respondent is guilty of a violation of Article 6, paragraph 10 of the regulation, by having failed to abstain from sexual intimacies through any means of communication. As you can see, these are very, very serious charges. So the next day, that is November 24, 2023, the Royal Netherlands Football Association lodged a request via the FIFA legal portal requesting the FIFA disciplinary committee to extend the decision to have worldwide effect. So two things to point out here. One, that the request for worldwide effects of the decision has to be made through the FIFA legal portal. That is the route, the proper route. And it has to be requested to the FIFA disciplinary committee, who is the competent body to extend those effects to worldwide FIFA, or the worldwide world football, organized football. So the secretary requested the Royal Netherlands Football Association to clear out the December 11 suspension, and basically what he told is that it was going to be what we talk about, a 2-year exclusion from taking part in any organization or member association of FIFA. But that sanction would be a 2-year sanction. The first one has to be complied with unconditionally, and the second exclusion will be suspended for the probation period of 2 years. If within that probation period, the person, in this case, Mark Oberman, infringes again the code, he will be subject to the sanctions and maybe even more severe ones. So in this context, the committee subsequently recounted that in accordance with Article 57, number 1 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, the chairperson of the FIFA Disciplinary Committee can rule alone, acting as a single judge, and might delegate his or her functions to another member. In this case, it did to the deputy chairperson. The committee, in turn, was mindful that, pursuant to Article 7, number 5 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, the worldwide extension of the decision would be approved if these conditions were met. 1, the person's sanction was cited properly. 2, the person had the opportunity to state his or her case with the exception of provisional measures because of its nature. At the beginning, at least, it has to be practiced without the participation of the counterpart, at least at the beginning. The decision was communicated properly. The decision complies with the regulations of FIFA. And finally, extending the sanction would not be in conflict with public order or with accepted standards of behavior. Those are the 5 requirements, and they all have to be met in order for the decision to be extended to worldwide effects. So the committee considered that all the conditions were complied with. So consequently, they decided to extend the sanction imposed on the official. This is Mark Obermars, has to have worldwide effects. More specifically, in accordance with the decision and keeping in mind the principles enshrined under Article 7, this time number 10, the official is therefore banned from exercising any position with a member association or affiliated organization for a period of 2 years, as from November 16, 2023, of which 1 year is suspended for a period of 2 years. That's the 2-year probation we spoke about. This decision was appealed before the appeals committee, and the appeal was dismissed by the committee, so the decision was confirmed. So now we're going to go through another fairly recent case, also issued by the disciplinary committee. This is a case of Leroy Sané from Germany. The decision is identified as FDD number 16741. It's about the same date as the previous case. This one started on November 21, 2023, in a context of a friendly international match play between the representative teams of Austria and Germany. In this context, the referee indicated in his report that one of the players of the representative team of Germany, namely Mr. Leroy Sané, in this case, and this proceeding is going to be the respondent, right, had been sent off for an offense due to violent conduct. In addition, the referee stated in his report that, and I quote, in minute 50, player number 19, Sané from Germany, hit opponent number 16 with hand in the face when the ball was not in play. With that, he committed violent conduct, so I sent him off. He left field of play quiet, normal, before he committed red card offense. He was pushed and provoked from number 16, Austria. He received yellow card for unsporting behavior. I'm reading this referee report has it's been written because this is one of the most important relevant evidence that the committee is going to take into account in order to issue its decision. So let me stop right here because I think I have a question. No, not yet. Okay, thank you, Danny. So on November 23, the Secretariat to the FIFA Disciplinary Committee informed the respondent that the aforementioned incident would constitute a potential breach of Article 14.1.h of the FIFA Disciplinary Code. In this respect, the Secretariat proposed the following sanction to the respondent in accordance with Article 58 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code. Remember that when in some cases where it was a single judge, the Secretariat could propose a sanction to the in this case to the person being investigated, which this is a scenario. So the proposed sanction by the Secretariat was the following. So one, that the respondent and Leroy Sané is suspended for 3 months. For 3 matches, including the automatic match suspension, which will be served during the next friendly matches of the representative team of Germany in accordance with Article 69 of the FDC. And secondly, the respondent shall pay a fine to the amount of 2,500 Swiss francs. After that, on November 27, 2023, and within the 5-day deadline granted by the Article 58 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, the respondent rejected the aforementioned proposed sanction and requested for regular disciplinary proceedings to be carried out. So the first thing that the chamber did, because it's its obligation ex officio, the committee confirmed that it was competent to evaluate the present case and to potentially impose sanctions in case of corresponding violations. Secondly, in order to assess the matter, the committee recalled the content and scope of Article 14 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, which in the relevant parts read as follows. Article 14 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code. And number 1, misconduct of players and officials. Number 1, players and officials shall be suspended for misconduct and specified below and may be fined accordingly. B, at least 1 match or an appropriate period of time for unsporting behavior towards an opponent or a person other than a match official. H, at least 3 matches for violent conduct. And number 6 of Article 14 states that additional disciplinary measures may also be imposed in all cases, additional to these sporting sanctions, right? So as we can see, nobody is disputing that the player infringed the disciplinary code. The crux of the problem right now is the qualification of the action. So because if it's qualified as an unsporting behavior, the sanction, of course, is less severe. In turn, if it's qualified as a violent conduct, the sanctions is a lot more severe. In any case, in any which event, the disciplinary committee can apply additional disciplinary measures as it proposed in the proposal of the Secretariat. So again, the committee underlined that Article 14.1 provides for the minimum disciplinary sanctions to be imposed on players or officials in case of misconduct. And also recall that the burden of proof lies with FIFA, which is required to prove the infringement under Article 41.1 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code. So this is one of the main points that makes FIFA a party and also legitimates it to be sued, standing to be sued, because it's such a party that the burden of proof of the infringement lies upon FIFA. So like any other party, but I'm trying to the facts that I'm trying to prove are on me. That's to say I have to provide the sufficient evidence of those actions being taken place. So also, what is also important, the committee pointed out that according to Article 39.3 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, the standard of proof to be applied in FIFA disciplinary proceedings is that of comfortable satisfaction. So to give you some perspective, usually, parties can agree otherwise in some scenarios. Usually, in civil matters, commercial matters, the standard of proof is that of a balance of probabilities. So that is to say, if it's more likely than not that something happened, 51%, then the adjudicating panel can decide on what was more likely to happen than not. That's in civil and commercial matters. In criminal proceedings, the standard of proof would be that of usually, most jurisdictions that I know of, at least, the standard of proof would be beyond a reasonable doubt. If I have a reasonable doubt that the fellow is walking away, right? So that's basically a certainty of 99-point-something%. It's a very high standard of proof. So the comfortable satisfaction in disciplinary proceedings before FIFA is a standard of proof that is somewhere between the balance of probabilities in commercial proceedings and beyond of a reasonable doubt standard of proof that is in criminal proceedings. That would be about a 75%, some scholars said. That is to say, it's a higher standard than the balance of probabilities, but is an act of infringement is more than 75% likely that happened, probably would get sanctioned. In lack of better words, that would be the explanation. In other words, the onus probandi is on the sanctioning authority to establish the disciplinary violation to the comfortable satisfaction of the judicial body, taking into account the seriousness of the allegations. Finally, the committee referred to Article 40 of the FIFA dispute, the disciplinary code, according to which the facts contained in the match official reports and in any additional reports or correspondence submitted by them are presumed to be accurate. Bear in mind that proof of their inaccuracy may be provided. In this case, the respondent didn't provide sufficient proof of that, at least not to the comfortable satisfaction of the disciplinary committee, as we will see further along the presentation. So first of all, the committee analyzed the evidence at its disposal. Specifically, this is one of the most important pieces of evidence, the referee report and the images of the incident to determine the potential violations. With this in mind and with this evidence, it determined that the conduct carried out by the respondent was qualified as a violent conduct. The respondent challenged then in turn the qualification of the incident as made by the referee, explaining that it only explained, but it didn't provide sufficient evidence to back that up. He merely pushed and went it with his flat hand. Okay, the Austrian player did not require any treatment, so he didn't break his nose. That's okay. There was a strong provocation by the Austrian player so that the incident had at hand shall rather constitute an unsporting behavior towards an opponent. So he kind of deserved it. No, so as you can see, these are very weak arguments and without sufficient evidence to back them up. So what happened? What should have happened? After careful analysis of the images against the evidence of the incident, the committee saw no legitimate reason to depart from the assessment. Remember, there's a presumption of legitimacy on the referee report. So he saw no legitimate reason to depart from the assessment made by the referee and could not agree with the respondent's submission that the incident had to be seen as an unsporting behavior. Notwithstanding the above, and for the sake of good order, the committee also pointed out this, and this is very important. In accordance with Article 9.1 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, the decisions taken by the referee on the field of play are final and may not be reviewed by the FIFA judicial bodies. Therefore, the committee considered that in any event, and as a general rule, there are some caveats to that. Not much. It was bound by the assessment made by the referee as imposed in his report. So the event was qualified as a violent conduct. Therefore, the minimum suspension for that were the 3 matches. And finally, for the sake of completeness, the committee stressed that, according to Article 4.6 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, in all cases of misconduct by players and officials, additional disciplinary measures may be imposed. So it decided to impose a fine amounting to the sum of 2,500 Swiss francs. It's an amount considered proportionate to the offense committed during an international friendly match. The reason I laugh or smile or I don't know is because at the end, it seems like the disciplinary committee ratified the proposed sanction issued by the secretariat. So we gotta be very careful about that because I'm guessing this can happen quite a bit. So I don't know, let me see if there are any questions to go to the conclusions. Okay, thank you for saying hi. We appreciate you being with us. Really, we really do. So conclusions. Decisions passed by the disciplinary ethics and appeal committees may be appealed before CAS subject to the provisions of the relevant FIFA regulations, namely the Code of Ethics and the Disciplinary Code, and also Articles 56 and 57 of the FIFA statutes that talks about CAS jurisdiction and appeals. In the proceedings where FIFA acts on the basis of its disciplinary powers, vertical disputes, FIFA has definitely a legitimate standing to be sued before CAS. So much more that is so true that it also has the burden of proof in regards to the infringement of any disposition in the disciplinary code. Worldwide extension of the effects of a decision requires the cumulative compliance with the conditions set out in Article 7, number 5 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code. Decisions passed by the Disciplinary Ethics and Appeals Committee may be appealed before CAS, subject, we already talked about this, sorry guys. I don't know what's happening here with that. If not, I'll tell you myself. In matters reserved for the single judge, the Secretariat may propose a sanction on the basis of the existing file. We saw an example of that. It's very important to point out that the proposed sanction by the Secretariat was ratified by or was the same sanction issued out by the Disciplinary Committee. It's important to take this into account when we are in proceedings before FIFA because this might happen quite a bit. The burden of proof lies with FIFA, which is required to prove the infringement under Article 41.1. And lastly, the standard of proof to be applied in FIFA disciplinary proceedings is that of the comfortable satisfaction of the judging body. This is according to Article 39.3 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code 2023 edition. So thank you. I don't know if there are any questions. ¿Alguna pregunta, Dani?
Nada, ninguna pregunta.
Okay, guys, this is all for today. We are very grateful for your participation or assistance to these live sessions. So without more to say right now at this point, please be very stay tuned to our next live sessions that we're gonna do next week. Same time, same hour, but we're gonna announce them to our social media accounts and to the internet. So until then, please be safe and take care. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.